Hit record. All right, welcome everyone to another edition of What Drives You. I am one of your co-hosts, Stan Windhorn, and with me, as always, is my good buddy and co-host, Carl Bauer. Carl, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining, and I'm excited about this one because this is an episode where I've actually been a patron of this person's businesses, and they are amazing. So excited to hear from Mr. Matt.
Yeah, so we want to welcome our guest today, Matt Morcher, who I don't know how to describe him other than restaurateur, entrepreneur. Matt, thank you so much for taking
Yeah.
time out of your busy day to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here and chit chat with you guys a little bit. I get to talk with Stan all the time in our restaurants and bars, so it'd be nice to see what drives Stan a little bit here today too. And I'm looking forward to chatting with y'all and seeing where this goes.
Well, I'll tell you what drives me all the way up to the restaurant you're at right now. And I'm not just saying this because he's our guest. I told Matt this honestly a couple of times, but that is the best Tex-Mex food I've ever had in my life. It is just so good.
I
And the
like it.
name of this one is pronounced Conejo.
Yeah, it's a tough one. So we've got all of our bars are rabbit themed. So when we decided to
Yeah,
go Mexican food, we had to go stay with the rabbit theme. So we called this one Conejos, which is Spanish for rabbit, of course, right?
yeah. All right. Well, I want to get to how the rabbit theme came up, but let's start with Matt. Carl, you already know this, but for the people who are watching, I have known Matt for 4 or 5 years now
Yeah.
and have just watched him really put together a little restaurant bar empire
Yeah, a
that's
little
all
small
rabbit
empire.
themed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about how did you, first of all, give us your background in the restaurant business before the Lucky Rabbit and in the
Yeah,
rabbit holes.
absolutely. When I was in college, I had the off jobs here and there in between classes, working at restaurants. So I kind of cut my teeth then. Kind of fell in love with it too. It's a restaurant business is exciting. It's fast paced. It's something different every day. Something I really got into. And I got out of college, fell out of the restaurant business, and tried to get what we thought was like real world jobs, right? So I went into
Mm,
to finance and mortgages for a little bit, and that didn't work out too well because I didn't really like to sit in a desk very much. So it was hard to contain me in an office. So I got rid of that and went back into the restaurant business, and I got lucky that I ended up with two franchises to open up Quiznos franchise in the early 2000s in Key West, Florida, of all places. My dad had a
wow.
buddy that bought a franchise, and his son, it ended up falling through for him. And he's like, "Hey, I got a gift for you. If you want to come move to Florida and open up two restaurants, you can have it." And I was like, I'm halfway there. Like, let's go. I'm going to be at the beach and have a restaurant. It's like, I'm totally in. And I was in my young 20s. I was like, it was a dream for me. It was great. So I got to open up two Quiznos franchises over there and spent almost 10 years in Key West doing that, along with a lot of fishing and doing Key West stuff. If you haven't been, it's a
Yeah,
great place to be. Um,
beautiful.
Ended up getting married while I was out there, and we wanted to have kids, but we want to be back closer to home. So we moved back to Austin, Texas, and I got involved with the Teos Corporation, which is a great restaurant group, great set of owners, wonderful people to learn from. That's where I really learned how to do things the right way and how to care about people, and it really found it refreshing to work around a bunch of people that have a certain level of pride and respect for the craft, real entrepreneurs and real restaurateurs. So it was amazing. After Zteos for a little bit, I went and followed them. They sold Zteos and opened up Jack Allen's Kitchens and the Salt Traders brands. With if you're in this area, everybody knows all about Jack Allen's and Salt Traders. High end, high quality, fast casual place. Large
Yeah.
restaurants, extremely busy, very guest forward, and great places. So helped open those restaurants for them for quite a while, and worked at most of all the Jack Allen's. 2020 COVID hit, kind of changed our restaurant scene quite a bit. Well, changed the world quite a bit, but our
Yeah.
restaurant scene got affected pretty highly with that. Everybody's shutting down. So I ended up leaving Jack Allen's Kitchen and going over to Lupe Tortilla for a little bit to get my Mexican fix. I love Lupe Tortilla. It was a great place. during COVID and working at Lupe Tortilla, I was thinking the whole time, this is tough on restaurants, tough on bars. Things are going to go out of business. This is going to be me and Sandra, my wife and my partner. This is going to be our opportunity to scoop something up and make it ours, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to fail, and not by any design of them, but just what was going on with during those times in the 2020s was tough for everybody. So
Yeah.
we got super lucky, and I met one of my best friends, Matt Delahousse, which is one of Stan's friends, and how we met each other. And he's my commercial real estate agent, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to come look at this property in Jonestown." And he's like, "Don't look at it directly, but maybe squint your eyes and have some vision," And it was a little bit of a rough place, but man, we scooped that place up and turned it into the Lucky Rabbit, and that was our first adventure. And man, it turned out great and was a huge success. And things kind of snowballed from there. And 4 years later, we have 4 concepts and 5 locations. So things went aggressively forward.
Well, we had Matt Delahousse as one of our guests on What Drives You a couple of months ago. And he had talked too about how partnering with you and Sandra was a big step here. I want to just say a couple of things about what you've said so far. First of all, Jack Allen's Kitchen, it's a consistently good place to go. I've never had food that wasn't good. I've never had service that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And that is what I would exactly say about the Lucky Rabbit and now Canejos as well. The food is always consistently good, and the service. I mean, you can tell that these people have been trained and they know what they're doing. There's so many restaurants. You go in there and maybe the waiter or the waitress really doesn't know what they're doing.
Sure.
Or they're just not on top of it. I don't blame that waitress or waiter for not being good at their job. I blame the management for that.
Yeah,
and I think
100%. Yeah, it's definitely not their fault. That's for sure. Everybody who works inside of a restaurant is a product of their environment, right? And there's certain things that make a restaurant successful.
Oh, he froze.
Got a frozer. Let's give him a sec.
Oh, there you are.
Now you're
Matt,
back.
you froze there for a second. And the last thing you had said is there's a few things that make a restaurant successful. Can you pick it up from there?
Yep. There's a couple things that make a restaurant successful, and it starts at the top. And you got to have a certain level of pride. You got to have some passion, and you got to really love what you do, right? And if you can take that into a building and give it to everybody else and have them pick up this culture and make extensions of yourself, you're going to be successful, and if you can have fun while you're doing it, then man, everybody's going to be a winner at that point in time, so working for places like Jack Allen's, where you can feel the consistency when you go in there and it feels like a well-oiled machine. It's because the people at the top care, and they've hired people around them who care and can promote their vision and promote their culture, and that's how they're able to be successful.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell a quick little story that kind of goes with this, and I may have talked about this before on What Drives You, but there was a restaurant, great location. Went there, the receptionist was great, sat us, and then we sat there. And I watched employee after employee. Nobody said hello. Nobody came and brought us water. Nobody brought us a drink. After about 25, 30 minutes, I'm like, screw this. I'm out of here. So we left. But being an entrepreneur myself, I'm the type of person that if I get exceptional service, I'm going to let management know. But I'm also going to let them know what happened, because I would want someone to let me know. And so I called and asked for the general manager, and the lady comes on, and I told her what happened. She goes, "Oh, were you the big tall guy in the black shirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was." She goes, "Yeah, I saw you." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're running this place and you saw me sitting there and you didn't do a damn thing?" I said, "You'll be out of business in less than 3 months." And sure enough, they're out of business in less than 3 months.
Is that a good location that I need to scoop up? Where's that at? Maybe
Dude,
maybe I can.
it was the Iguana Grill on 620 that overlooks the lake, and but when it wasn't the Iguana Grill, then it was Lucy's Fried Chicken.
Yep.
By the way, if the name fried chicken, or if fried chicken's in your name, you would think the fried chicken would be really exceptional, and it was
You would think
mediocre at
that would be
best.
a priority of yours. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Anyway,
probably a
enough
reason why
about
all
that.
three of their locations went out of business. So,
Yeah. So I want to
There's
talk about the rabbit concept, but
yeah.
real quickly, Sandra's awesome. Your wife,
Yep.
beautiful lady, super smart, and she seems like, I mean, you guys just work so well as partners. Did she also have a restaurant background, or did she pick that up with working
Yeah,
with you?
actually, she moved here from Washington. She was running and help opening coffee shops in Washington because that's what you do when you're in Washington, right? There's a coffee shop on every
Yeah.
15 feet over there. So her idea was to come here to Texas and start a coffee shop movement down here. I met her when I was opening up Jack Allen's Kitchen in Anderson Lane. I opened up a hiring center. She just moved to town. She walked in. I took one look at her. I barely interviewed her. I was like, you're hired. I'll figure out a spot for you, right? But you know, we've been friends for a very long time, and we worked together before we were dating and before we were married for probably 5 years or so. And she grew up there. We taught her how to bartend, which is basically like making like it's a barista with a different language, right? You're instead of using
Sure.
coffee, you're using liquor. So she was very good at it very quickly, moved up into management. She met some people and got the opportunity to open up a new bar. So she started opening up new places and doing the opening thing, which is a lot of fun and very exciting. She ended up moving in with me, and we kind of palled around for a little bit and came up with that Lucky Rabbit concept, and you know the rest was kind of downhill from there.
Yeah. Well, how is it working together? I mean, you're now married, and
Well, I
some
couldn't,
people.
yeah, I couldn't do it without her, that's for sure. So we definitely have our roles, and you know, we stay in our lane as much as possible, right? And I will say that, you know, we work 7 days a week, and we probably work, you know, at least 10 to 15 hours a day. And even when we're not doing those 7 days a week and those 10 or 15 hours a day, we're still talking about work. You know, that's what we
Yeah.
lay in bed, we talk about, and what we wake up, what we talk about. And honestly, it's really not work to us, which is, I think, why it works for us, because we're having fun with it, right? Like we enjoy it. We have a good time. It's what we want to do. It just happens to be a job, and it happens to make money. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have the culture that we do around here, and the people have you know, the attitudes that they do around here, because nobody's having more of a good time than me and Sandra when we come into these places, right? And it's contagious. So you know, watching people that work for us be as excited as we are is absolutely amazing, and one of our favorite things.
Hey, Matt.
Carl, do you had a question?
Yeah, I did. It's intriguing because, when Stan first drugged me, whenever I'm down there, I have kind of short windows to visit things and see things. So whenever the first time I went to Lucky Rabbit, I'm like, how far is it? That's always my first question, because he's got a bunch of
Right.
stuff right there in 620. So he drugged me out there, but the energy that comes out, and I said this to Matt too, Del Husa, is the energy that you guys have in that place is I don't think I've felt
Yeah.
anywhere. And
Yeah.
what I love about it is you can go there. Stan and I go there. And we're like, all right, we got an hour. We end up there 3-4 hours because of
Yeah.
all the different live music, the
Yeah.
activity, the dart throwing,
Yeah.
the axe throwing it. And
Yeah.
it's like you spend this time there. Of course, our bill's going up the whole time we're there because we keep having another cocktail or another
Look at the
snack.
smile on Matt's face when you
I
Yeah,
said
I
know.
like
that.
that.
I
I
know.
like that. Yeah.
But that's the point, though. It's fair pricing. You get to the end of the night, and you're like, man, I was here 4 hours, and it was a fair price. But the
Yeah.
energy there,
Yeah.
just time. That's what I love about it. Just time melts. You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
just inside, outside, music, TVs. It's just a
Yeah.
really, really
There's
great
definitely a
concept.
lot going on there, you know, and like I said, you know, there's a lot of restaurants and a lot of bars around there, and you got to get everything exactly right, or people aren't going to come back, you know, and that's how you create regulars. You know, you get all these people that want to come in there, and they have an experience like you had, Carl, and they say, hey, maybe it's not Stan, but hey, I want to bring somebody else back here to have that same experience, right? And then that's how we build business, and that's how we get popular. And like Stan said earlier, being consistent is the key, because, you know, we have, you know, 200 groups just like you come in every single day. And if those 200 groups can have the same experience that you had, they're going to come back not again. They're going to be repeat guests. Hopefully they come back more frequently, and hopefully they bring a lot of people with them to share that same experience. Right. And that's where you start winning. And that's when I guess eventually you start making some money, you know?
Well, and I
All
think
right.
too, I've been in marketing my whole adult life, and word of mouth with all the technology that's out there, right? Social media is just the new word of mouth, but
Sure.
that word of mouth is still so powerful. And Stan, we brought, I mean, I don't know how many people you brought there, but even me and Stan have brought Ken and Joe and his wife and my wife. Like,
Sure.
I don't even live there. I live in Chicago,
Yeah.
so it's just crazy that your reach is so
Yeah.
far. And been to a couple of the other. We went to the rabbit hole that's up by Leander. I think that was the first one, because
Yes.
my friends live
And
right there, and I think they've been there. I'm sure they've been to your Tex-Mex place as well, because they're big restaurant people. So yeah, great job.
so
Thank you.
Canejos is right next to that original rabbit hole, Carl.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was a
really?
Yep.
Chinese restaurant before, and then they
It
took over
was,
both
yeah,
shops.
it's kind of a strange story. It was, yeah, it was a sushi, but the Canejos was a sushi bar, and then next to it, she also owned the bar next door, and there was a hole in the wall where you could go back and forth. It was like a karaoke bar type thing. We ended up moving across the street right after we opened up Lucky Rabbit. Came in here, and there was nobody in her bar on a Friday night, and I was like, it was really strange that there was nobody in there. So I asked the owner, I was like, why is there nobody in here? She's like, I don't know. Just people don't come in here. I go, do you want to sell it to us? And she says, no, I'm not going to sell you the bar. I'm like, oh, fine. We come back a couple of weeks later, ask the same thing. No. A couple of weeks later, still same thing. No. And then one day she calls me. She's like, I'll sell you a bar. Bring me a check. I'm like, okay. So we ended up with Rabbit Hole Leander, and we shut it off from the sushi place. And then she fell ill a couple of months later and was like, hey, do you want to buy the sushi place? And I was like, absolutely. So we ended up with Canejos now. So,
Yeah.
Canejos is absolutely amazing. It's been open for about 6 months now, and it just couldn't be better. Couldn't be better.
Delicious. All right, I want to be real respectful of your time, Matt, but
You're
I
good.
gotta know who came up with the rabbit concept and how did that come about?
We're going to give Sandra credit for that one. We used to live down in South Austin right before COVID happened. And I lived on a couple acres, and we were raising rabbits at the time because that was one of our harebrained ideas of, maybe we'll make a little bit of extra money. Rabbits are sustainable. So we started raising meat rabbits. We quickly realized that, as fun as that seems, it wasn't the most glorious of jobs. So the meat rabbit farm got shut down, and we moved up to Round Rock. We moved into an apartment while we were looking for a place. Neither of us were working at the time, and we were trying to develop a concept that, like I said earlier, we knew bars were going to fail. We wanted to scoop something up, so we needed to make a business plan. And part of that business plan is coming up with a name for something. So we went on these long walks every day trying to talk about business and write a business plan. And I don't know why, but our apartment complex that we lived in up there was infested with rabbits. So 24 hours a day, as soon as you walk out the door, there's a rabbit by the door. As soon as you walk out, there's rabbits in the field, there's rabbits in the parking lot. It's kind of surreal and kind of strange, right? So I think the rabbits
Yeah.
kind of followed us up there, and it was a beautiful day. And we were out for a walk one day, and Sandra was like, "Man, look at all these lucky rabbits running around out here. They've got a good life." And I was like, "Lucky rabbit." I was like, "Man, that's kind of a cool name." I was like, "Let's see if there's any lucky rabbits around," because that's the other hard part, right? Most all the cool names are taken, and there was no lucky rabbits. So we're like, let's buy all the socials. Let's move forward with Lucky Rabbit. What a cool name. We can, play on the rabbit theme a lot with merchandise and, funny names of stuff, and
Yeah.
cool cocktail names. So the Lucky Rabbit was born, right? And then we wanted to open up other things, and we wanted everybody, because Lucky Rabbit was so successful. It had good quality, it had good atmosphere, the ratings were exceptional, the word of mouth was exceptional. It was a great concept, and we wanted everybody else in the area, because they were starting to know who we were. We wanted them to know that, hey, all these other rabbit themed places are going to have that same quality, same consistency, the atmosphere, people who work there who care, So we like, let's stick with the rabbit theme name. So we opened up the Rabbit Hole Bar. We opened up a second Rabbit Hole Bar. We've got Wild Hair Bar and Grill out in the hollows that overlook the lake. It's a beautiful pool bar. And then we also have Canejos now. So rabbits all
Yeah.
over the place, and who knows what's next.
I can't believe it's taken this many years for me to solve that mystery. I always wondered where the
Yeah.
lucky rabbit came from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna thank Sandra
Yeah.
the next time I
Yep.
see her because I've been wondering about that. Well, listen, man, I want to be real respectful of your time. I appreciate
Sure.
this. We usually finish this up, and I did not give you a heads up on this one. But
That's
Carl, do you
okay.
want
I
to
can wing it.
do the car questions real quick?
Sure, man. This podcast or YouTube channel was born kind of out of COVID. You know, similar deal with you. Like, what we got to I wanted to get, to me, it was kind of a creative outlet. So if we had more time, I wanted to talk to you about your boat captaining. I did a little research
Yeah.
on you and your art, love of
Oh yeah.
art and artistry
Oh yeah.
stuff, but maybe we'll save that for a different time. So
Oh man, there's so much more. We got microgreen farms. We raised rabbits. We always had something on the side, but
you
that's
got
a
it all.
different story for a different time.
You have businesses or had businesses in two of my favorite places in the world, which is Key
Yeah.
West and
I love
Austin. So the energy there is just, again, not be easily duplicated in anywhere in the
Yeah.
US. I think maybe
Agree.
Memphis, maybe Nashville, but so here's how this was born. We want to educate, entertain, and encourage people on this channel. So hopefully you got a little encouragement and education today about restaurant business. But it was really birthed out of the idea for cars, because Stan and I both been in the car business for many years. So really quick, rapid fire, what was your first car?
My first car was a 1991 Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Ooh.
Oh
Did you do
yeah.
a 000? Was that your
It
deal?
was a stick shift, and my dad got me to. I sat in it, and he said it was a turbo too. And he says, "If you want this car, you're going to drive it right now." I said, "I don't know how to drive a stick shift." He goes, "Well, then you're not getting a car." I said, "Well, let's go." And I pulled it out there, and the first thing I did was just floor it and pop that clutch, and it about jumped off the ground, spinned its wheels, and took off. And I was like, "Oh, I want this car." You know, this is my first car. It was amazing. So that's how I learned how to drive stick on my first car. Just go for it.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. What?
Yeah.
That's our first Mitsubishi, by the way.
Yeah.
What is your favorite car that you've owned over the years?
Ah, man, it might be my truck right now. Honestly, I just got a new GMC 2500 HD truck. It's extremely large and aggressive, and
Oh yeah.
it's fun. I like it.
And what would be your dream car?
Ah, my dream car. Well, man, my truck's pretty nice right now. I would say it's getting pretty close. Dream car. I mean, I think as growing up as a kid, I think everybody wants like the red Ferrari, right? Like, I think one day if that ever presents itself, that might be the way to go.
Yeah, little Magnum PI action.
That's right.
All
Exactly.
right, we're going to finish this up, Matt, but and I should have given you a heads up so you had time to think of it, but I'm going to
That's
put you on
okay.
the spot. We like to finish this up with our guests where we ask for some words of wisdom.
Sure.
One of the ways we frame it is if you were able to talk to a young Matt, what would be like a little gem of things that you wish you knew earlier in life, kind of a thing?
Yes, you know what, I can do that because we speak to our employees and our upper management about these type of things a lot, right? Because we're trying to create our culture, and we want to replicate more of us. First of all, do work that you love and that you don't see as work, because when you do that, you have fun, and you're having fun, but you're making money, and it's not work. It becomes something completely different. Have passion and have purpose. Always look for new knowledge. You want to grow and you want to master your craft. Financial security and those type of rewards are a byproduct of doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
So don't chase money because you're going to fail every time. Competition is good. Be resilient. Don't be scared to fail. And find your passion and do that. Take
Yeah.
a leap of faith, and if an opportunity presents itself and you're scared to take it, but it aligns with your goals, don't be scared. Jump and take it.
I'm not surprised that that was it because you were kind of talking about that earlier about, you're working all these hours, but it's not work. You love
No,
what you
it's not.
do. And, that's an old cliche that do something that you love and you never work a day in
Yeah.
your life. But
Yep.
Matt, I appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
for taking time to do this. I'll look forward to seeing you at one of the rabbits
I'm sure
again
it'll be
real
fairly
soon.
shortly. Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know
So it's
me.
my pleasure. Thanks for having me on here, and let's do it again. And I could chat for hours about stuff. So we can
Yeah, we'll
revisit
talk
things.
about some of the former businesses. They sound super interesting.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Matt.
Carl, thanks, buddy.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
be good humans out there. We'll see you on the next episode of What Drives You.
Cheers,
Take
y'all.
care.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.